Hey everyone, welcome back to We Are Chattin, your Penn State Brandywine podcast. We're your hosts, Ava Clements.
Natalie DeMario.
And today we are chatting with Fox 29's very own Drew Anderson.
Drew is an Emmy award-winning meteorologist, a Penn State professor, and a go-to guy for anything science.
I'm here for that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anytime.
Drew, welcome to the podcast. We're so excited to have you on the show today.
What great digs. How beautiful is
Awesome.
this right here? And
Amazing.
I can't wait to talk more with you guys because, we are chatting.
Absolutely.
We are
Oh,
chatting. All right, let's get into it. So, Drew, tell us what led you to becoming a professor here at Penn State Brandywine.
Well, teaching is something I've always been interested in, and it's something I really enjoy doing because when you do the weather, you're also teaching too, because things like the word grapple. Let me give you a pop quiz here. What's grapple?
Oh.
See, that's where I step in. We had some grapple the other night.
Interesting.
Which are little snow pellets. So imagine a snowflake. Imagine my fingers being the flakes, like the snowflake itself, and my fingers are the spikes. Because, all snowflakes usually have a spike. Well, if you get the spikes to disappear, all you're left is with the center of a snowflake, and that would be a snow pellet. So certain times of year, if the weather pattern's right, like remember when it was super windy the other day,
Yeah.
the winds were howling, the cold air
Yep.
coming over the Great Lakes, that can cause these little snow pellets that look, by the way, like Dippin' Dots. And there was some Dippin' Dot snow around here. So on air that morning, I was doing weather Monday morning. It was in for Sue Serio over at Fox 29. And I was explaining how we get that Dippin' Dot snow because at the Eagles game on Sunday, there was grapple. It was about 30
Interesting.
seconds or a
I
minute.
think I heard about that.
But for like
Yeah.
30 seconds to a minute, there was these little snow pellets that look like Dippin' Dots if you see them.
Wow.
And it's kind of rare to get them because some water kind of hits the spikes on a snowflake and the spikes go away. And boom. So I get to do some of that on TV. So I get to already do some teaching on TV. And then I just love doing that in person. And for me personally, it's just a great way to give back to the community and to you guys too, because now you guys know what grapple is.
Absolutely.
Now we know what grapple
yes,
is.
you learn something new every day, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, your first debut on television was when you were only 9 years old. So can you tell us how that came about?
Oh, that was so cool. So, it goes back to like one of your parents just nurturing an interest that you have. And I was into like TV and movies growing up as a kid. I remember when they started running ads at the station I work for now, they were going to start a morning show on April Fool's Day. And as a kid, I thought, this has got to be a joke. And then I just watched it all the time. And I just like, as a little kid, get really interested in stuff. You just love it. It's like, someone I was in third grade at the time. And I loved that show, the morning show. So my mom took me when the show went on the road. I don't know who she talked to. But the next thing I knew, I'm doing weather with the morning weather guy. I'm helping the morning weather guy before Sue Serio
That's
do
amazing.
weather. And so it got started there. Then when the show went to my hometown of Westchester where I grew up, he had me all morning long doing the weather with him.
Wow.
And here I am now, just like on Monday, doing the weather on the same show that got me inspired in the sciences and to do weather. And also, by the way, to go to Penn State for meteorology.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The best place for that.
Yeah, no,
For
totally.
sure.
And that's really inspiring that you had a vision and a dream as a young kid and you were able to live that out as you got older. That's really awesome.
Well, it's just the power of one person, right? I was just doing a speaking event last night up in Berks County in Reading, and it was at this Reading Science Center. And they do this after-school program where they do science experiments, and they call it SIS, Sisters in Science. So they bring in girls, and they want to get
Wow.
more girls in the sciences, because when you look at the stats, there's fewer girls in the sciences than men. So it's kind of a way to nurture. Well, one of the girls that was part of the program, and they were kind of showing it off because it was a fundraiser for the museum too, she pulls something out of her pocket, totally unrehearsed. No one asked her to do it. She had this little pH test kit. She was
That's
so
amazing.
into science
Wow.
because of what they were doing at the center. She had a little pH test. So, if we had some, I can see what pH here. If I weren't using my credit card, it would tell me, is this soda in here? Or is it neutral or what? Because it would show you different colors.
Wow.
Well, it just shows you the power of one person kind of showing you something or inspiring something in you that you didn't even know was there. And like for me, it was the morning weather guy at Fox 29. For some of these girls, I imagine will probably go into sciences down the road. It was having that after school program. So it's just having someone at the young age kind of giving you that hands-on experience of something cool, and then it gets stuck in your head. And then college time comes, and you get to do anything when it comes to college. Just like,
Right.
oh, let me do this cool thing that's in my head.
Yeah, for sure. And there's plenty of opportunities at Penn State to, go further with that. So,
Yeah, that's
Well
really
said.
awesome.
yeah, for sure. So, growing up, what or who inspired you? I guess your love for science and your love for the weather and, stuff like that.
Man, I've always been interested in the sciences, so I would swing it back to some of the teachers that I had. I remember in high school, and I was not good at bio. There's a reason I'm on the earth science side of science.
Yeah.
And the bio teacher did something really cool, and it really stuck with me. He got a piece of coffee filter paper, I guess you'd call it, and he got a leaf right when the leaves are starting to change, and he got a coin. I think it was like a nickel, because the nickels are wider compared to the other coins, and he rolls it. So you got the coffee filter paper, whatever it's called. You got the leaf on top, and then you got the coin, and you roll it so that we get some of the juices from the leaves, some of the liquids in there that have the chlorophyll. And then you put it in just a little bit of alcohol, and the alcohol kind of starts going up the paper. And when that alcohol, because you don't put it all the way down, you just have like a little bit of just like rubbing alcohol at the bottom of the cup, and your paper's dangling. When some of that runs up and hits some of the chlorophyll in the leaf, you get to see what colors the green leaf will become once we get the leaves to change. Yeah, it shows what's waiting in the leaf to be discovered. And I love that as a kid, so much so that when I worked for WFMZ, which is a station up in Allentown, that I ended up asking that same teacher, who's now retired, unfortunately, I said, hey, can we do this experiment as a story? And we did it as a story on the news, and we redid
That's
it.
great.
And it was like a full circle moment. So it's those moments. It's having teachers or having people that show you the sciences in a hands-on way, because that's what sticks in our head like a Post-it note.
Completely agree with you on that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. I wish I did something cool like that when I was in bio.
I know.
What's the coolest thing you guys did in school?
Oh my gosh.
Oof.
Well, this opportunity here. This
I
is
know, this
amazing.
is awesome.
This is awesome.
This is really awesome. I think that this takes the cake,
It does.
seriously.
It does. Yeah,
we get to
for
be
sure.
ourselves and create fun content.
Oh, and by the way, all platforms. I love the content that you guys are doing on the social. So you guys kind of just dream that up, or how does that come about? Because you guys are crushing it on the socials here for Penn State Brandywine.
Yeah.
Thank
Well, we
you.
kind of brainstorm, come together, figure out, different trends, what's going on right now. Do that on TikTok. We also, we write stories, feature stories about things happening on campus. They also highlight alumni, all different kinds of things. Podcasts.
Yeah.
What else?
Love that.
Different events that we have, and we'd like to do some promotion for them or some recaps on them. So we'll come up with different fun, creative ways and see what's going on in the TikTok algorithm, what's going to connect with the younger students.
You're doing research, getting the algorithm.
oh,
You're
yes.
purposely designing some of these videos. I
try.
got it.
We try. Yeah,
Okay.
we do. We try.
Yeah, it's
for
really
sure.
awesome. It's fun. It's great.
Yeah. So, Drew, what does your typical day look like working at Fox 29?
Oh my gosh, it depends on the day, because I do it all there. In TV,
Yeah.
especially now where there's a lot more streaming and different things, it just depends on the day. So, for example, today before I came in here, I was doing our streaming show we do at 3:30. I went to a vet. We're talking about how cold affects pets. Certain pets kind of need the sweater versus other pets if you're taking them out on a cold day. And also some do's and don'ts at the holiday dinner table with certain foods. Some an absolute no. Other foods, yeah, it's actually okay. So I shot that on my cell phone. We did it with Zoom, and it goes back to the station, and it's one of our streaming shows. Now, come Friday, I'm working out of my car all day. I'm kind of excited for it.
Wow.
I'm going to go to the Elmwood Zoo, which is in Montgomery County.
Yeah.
Their light festival starts that night. Well, we have a noon news that's streaming, and I'm going to have my work cell phone on one of those selfie sticks that it doesn't it stays, it has, I guess, what is it called? Like a gyroscope, gimbal?
I don't know.
The thing will stay steady even though I'll be unsteady.
You'll be moving
Right.
it around.
Yeah, so I'll have this here, and I'll talk to them. I'll do a little interview. And then on my hand over here, I'm going to have my real cell phone, like my personal cell phone. I'm going to be logged into the weather graphics system, and I'm going to be advancing some weather graphics because I'm going to do live weather all myself. I'm going to do it for the noon news, and that one's just streaming. And then on the 5 o'clock news, which is both streaming but on air as well, I'll be doing the exact same thing, except there, I'm switching locations. I'll be at Longwood Gardens because it's the first night of their lights.
Wow.
So Friday, I'm
All
running
over.
Yep, I'll do our 12 o'clock show. I'll do a live shot there. I'll do one for our 3:30 weather and science streaming show. I'll do a hit in our 4 p.m. news, which airs on all of our stations streaming about, I guess, Longwood Gardens, because I'll be there at that point. I'll do weather at the 5 o'clock news in 2 points, and that's just that day. And then for the weekend, I'll go just be in studio, and I'll just do weather in the morning, in the night, and then the next day in the morning. So I work around the clock on the weekends. I do a double shift some weekends.
Wow.
I do a double shift, my own choice, because it banks me days off during the week. So my days off during the week are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because I do a double on Saturday. So some weekends I slam out my work shift. I come in Friday at noon. and I check into Hotel 29 because I just sleep and nap on the couches.
Hotel 29.
And I check out at noon on Sunday. And right there is my 4 work shifts. And I just have one more to sneak in. And so I can leave at noon on Sunday, which is basically a day off with how early it is in the day that I'm getting out of there. And then I'm off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
That's awesome.
That's a
pretty
great
good gig.
schedule.
Yeah,
So-
No, I would do that.
I
That
do it
sounds
all. So
interesting.
from being live in studio, I'll also do traffic. I'll do fun reporting. I'm mainly weather. So
Yeah.
that's TV in 2025. You got to do it all and
Yep.
be ready to do it cell phone because also like what you guys are doing, right? You're researching the algorithms like you told me. Well, we're keeping up with the times. People are more used to this sort of holding the phone in front of you and doing live weather or doing a live report just off the cell phone because we're seeing that in our feeds.
Yeah.
So that's something to be said too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome that you guys are integrating that into the news. I feel like that went over my head. I almost didn't even notice because it feels so
Yeah.
congruent with like every
Right.
day. So that's really cool. That's
Well,
awesome.
It's the video quality. We do a show that's on our air on all platforms. So Fox 29 itself and the other platforms, the streaming ones I'm talking about, and like cell phone app, all that stuff. 11:30, and it's entirely shot on the cell phone. It's just you out on location the whole time. I filled in for the host, and it's just me for 30 minutes somewhere, and that's it. The video quality looks as good as one of those big cameras on your shoulder.
Really?
It does. And it just shows you where technology has gotten us. I mean, case in point, think of it right here. The podcast studio is part of Launchbox here at Penn State Brandywine, right? This would not have been an everyday occurrence, say, 10 years ago to have this tech and have the ease to do it with how great it looks. So this is where technology is at, and it's making the media industry more accessible and easier too.
Wow. Yeah, that's a really
yeah.
great point. Absolutely.
sure.
So, how has your experience on television as a meteorologist shaped your approach to teaching?
Oh my gosh, I've gotten better on TV doing it because I can tell right away when someone like that nods off. So, it's a great example of making sure not only I'm keeping people's attention, but really I learned to stay away from like the textbook terms, like grapple, for example.
Right.
I could explain what that is without saying like the word grapple, because when you use like jargon, when you use technical terms, it kind of is putting a roadblock between you and the person you're trying to talk to, that message getting there.
Yeah.
So I can just talk about it, show my hand and say, no, you know what, we had these little interesting little pieces of snow. They weren't your everyday snowflake because the little spikes went away and we're just left with the center of the snow. And that's what happened at the Eagles game, like something like that. So I learned from that because I learned technical terms just kind of make everyone snooze or, the cell phones come out in class. And it's been great to have that opportunity.
Yeah. Well, when you were talking about the grapple, like I had no idea. That word never crossed my mind before, but the way you explained
Right.
it, I totally understood.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I remember seeing it.
Exactly.
And I didn't know that was a separate term. I would have just called it snow.
Of course, right? So now
Yeah.
you know, Dippin' Dot Snow, and see some little Dippin' Dots on your cards.
yeah.
It's grapple.
So it's a great approach to teaching.
Yeah,
I
I
think
really
it
like
definitely
that.
sticks with students. So that's
Mhm.
great. Are there any weather myths that you hear about frequently?
Oh, because we're just in the snow world. Did you know water does not have to freeze at 32? You've been lied
What?
to your whole life if you think water freezes at 32. There is liquid water up in the clouds at negative 40 degrees.
Wow.
But there's a catch. It's supposed to be frozen once it gets to 32 degrees. But it doesn't have to. But when it hits something, it instantly freezes. It's actually really cool. We do this demo. I'll bring it in sometimes in my class, or I'll show the video where, like, if you leave a water bottle in your car and just leave it, and the temperature gets like in the 20s, low 20s, you can get that water bottle and drop it, and it'll instantly freeze. One of my students from last semester did it with his little mini fridge in the dorms here at Penn State Brandywine. He put the water bottle, and it's got to be like a pure water bottle, like a Fiji or a Deer Park, put it in his little freezer, what was ever in there, and he brought it out, and he dropped it, and it instantly froze to ice because the water was colder than 32 in the bottle.
Interesting. Wow.
Wow, I never knew that before.
Hear that, guys? That's the myth. That is the myth.
And
of
it's
the
been
day.
debunked.
Oh, and one more, and I love doing this. I love splashing up some water. I'll get a water bottle. I'll make water bottle splash in the classroom because if you get a water bottle and you go like that and the water comes out, watch The Shape of Water. I think it was a movie years ago. Maybe won an Academy Award for like Best Picture. But The Shape of Water is a circle. When it rains, the clouds are not crying. Rain is not teardrops like everyone draws it.
Yeah, with a point.
That's not it. Rain's a circle.
Wow.
So we've been lied to again our whole lives.
Huh.
Everyone who drew rain. Rain's a circle. And because that's what water wants to be. That's a shape water wants to be, is a circle. And you'll see it if you get a water bottle and go, psh, and then watch on your windshield the next time it rains. Look at the shapes. You'll notice they're circles when they hit your
That's
windshield.
right.
Yeah,
That's
now
right.
that I'm thinking
Yeah.
about it, that's totally
Mhm.
true.
Wow.
Oh
All
my
right.
goodness. Wow. The more you know. The
Oh
more you
yeah.
know.
Oh
That's
yeah.
what I'm here for at Penn State Brandywine.
Absolutely.
And
And
that's
we're
the
happy
things
to
we
have
talk
you.
about in the classes
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to kind of go off of that, are there any memorable weather events from over the years that you frequently recall?
Oh, yeah, talking about flooding. I teach a natural disasters class in the fall. So flooding is one of the leading causes of weather-related deaths. It's number 2 behind, get this one, heat of all things. Heat causes the most weather-related deaths, not tornadoes, not hurricanes. And just shows you the power of heat, of how you can be in a bad situation so quickly.
Wow.
But flooding would be number 2. And I'll never forget covering flooding for the news. And there was a giant green dumpster. And I'm not talking one of those square ones. I'm talking one of those big old rectangle ones when someone's doing a roof.
Right.
That sucker was bobbing like a buoy in water, and it wasn't much water.
Really?
It was probably a foot of water. Think about that. A foot of water was making this giant green dumpster bob.
That could be dangerous.
That's the power of water. If water is fast moving, like usually when we get flooding around here, the water's not fast moving. It's slow, it's sitting. But if water's actually fast moving, it can float a regular car just 1 foot.
Wow.
And then you imagine 2 feet. You know, I got my boots on here. I got my cowboy boots. I can just kind of, pull up right there. They're too hard to get off. But if I put my 2 cowboy boots together on top of each other, it'd be something like that. That takes an SUV if it's fast moving water.
Wow.
It doesn't take much water to float a car away. And it goes back to that dumpster. Seeing it it was in standing water. It wasn't much water to make that bob. That I can never get out of my head. Seeing that firsthand, that's wild to me.
That is
Interesting.
wild.
Yeah, that could be dangerous for sure.
Well,
Oh
that's,
my
that's the
gosh.
problem. That's why you
Yeah.
can't drive through flooded roadways. You don't know how deep the water is. You also don't know if it's fast moving. And that's the big thing in meteorology. You say turn around, don't drown. And people get into a bad situation when they drive through flooded roadways. And that's why
Yeah.
flooding is the second leading cause of weather-related deaths. It's generally people in their car that pass away.
Yeah.
Wow. So
That's
this
wow.
is some safety tips
Some
too.
safety
Yeah.
tips.
Hey, that's what it's
Absolutely.
about, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All this knowledge that you have. I mean, did you always know that you wanted to become a meteorologist?
Yeah, I could thank the weather guy on Fox 29 for that one. And Mama Anderson setting that up back in the day when I was in
Yeah.
3rd grade. That got in my head. And then he went away. He moved on to bigger cities and stuff. Stayed
Okay.
in my head. Time came for college. Always knew I was going to Penn State. Only school I applied for. I'll never forget the guidance counselor saying, I want you to apply to a safety school. And I looked at her and I said, Penn State is my safety school.
Yep.
I was a little cocky at the time. I didn't realize that Penn State was hard to get into.
Right.
But you know what? It worked out just fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was meant to be.
It
right?
was.
Here
yeah.
we are.
Yeah.
You had that dream, you had that goal, and you went after it in more than one ways.
Oh, yeah.
Meteorology, college. I mean, that's really awesome.
What about you guys? What inspired you to do what you're doing? Clearly interested in communications, media. Do you have a certain memory, or what got you into this field?
I've always loved. Actually, it's from the show How I Met Your Mother. Robin, she's a reporter on the television show, and I remember I always looked up to her when I watched that show when I was younger. So I think that I've always looked into, being on television, being a reporter. I think that's pretty cool, and this is just kind of like a step in that direction, really. So that's kind of where I was at.
Yeah. Coming into college, I really didn't know what I wanted to do.
Mm.
But I started taking different classes and was in Com 100, and I really fell in love with it. Like
Great
being,
class, by the way.
Yeah.
Great teacher, too.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
Professor Thebany.
Professor
Shout out to her.
Thebany,
She's
yes.
amazing.
Karen Thebany, thank you.
But just being able to like tell the good news of a place, like being able to spread the good news of Penn State, like I love it. It's great. That's it. That's what
And I
it
love
is.
your TV show connection. I talked to someone, I interviewed a high school student who got a prestigious national award for what she was doing. She went to clean up the waterways. And it was all because she watched some cartoon when she was like 10 years old. And it was about like people saving water, saving the ecosystem. And that cartoon when she was 10 got her interested in this. So she got this award as a high school student. And I'm confident she's going to college for that.
Yeah.
But your
awesome.
experience, is a lot like others. You find your way, you find what interests you, and
Yeah.
then you lean into
Yep.
it. You like that clash, like, oh, I want to see more about that. And that's why we take gen eds, right? You find
100%.
out if that information or that content calls to you, and then, all right, let me explore more with this.
Yeah, I mean that one class that you never expected to take.
Right?
That one class could lead you down your whole career.
100%.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yep. So, what would you say is like your favorite part of your job?
Which one?
Oh, both.
Yeah, we'll go both.
Both.
Oh man, I love doing little science experiments I do in class all the time. Simple stuff like putting blue ice cube in a water, and it shows how we get straight line wind damage from storms because you see blue eye come down, and that's what winds do, the cold winds from a thunderstorm. And it's fun doing hands-on stuff because fun stuff like that just makes information stick, and I love like sharing that kind of stuff because everyone in class loves that. We can ask them. We got class sitting out there right now. TV wise, man, I really like making the graphics because I'm really particular on what I do with graphics. I try to do as few maps as possible because I feel maps are sciencey, and people right away think, have tough time with science. So I'm mainly picture based. I'm a visual person anyway. So if you watch one of my weathers, what you'll notice maybe me compared to other people is most of my graphics are actually going to be pictures. And I use pictures to share what the weather will be, what the weather will look like. I like having small pictures of towns. So I always have like a town in my background. I'll do other stuff to give town shout outs. So I really like figuring out what graphics to use to share the weather information. Because generally there's 3 bullet points I'm going to tell you about the weather. Like for example, today I'm going to talk about how cold it is, and is that cold going to stick around? I'm going to say, it's gloomy today. When's the next time we see some sun? It's been a little wet. Are we dry for a couple days? And then I'll give a preview to the holiday weekend. So those would be my elements, and then it's just figuring out, okay, what graphics I'm going to use to share that information.
Yeah, I really like that, especially as someone who's a visual learner as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think seeing rather than, having to like identify something on a map. Where am I?
Right?
Where am I supposed to be? Where am I supposed to be looking? So that's really awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it connects back to our jargon conversation. Like being able to see it, understand it, makes it 10 times easier to take it with you.
You know what it
remember.
is? It makes it more real world. It makes it more relatable. And that's what it's about. The weather should be a conversation. Watch the weather folks. It's more about conversation and fun. But it's getting rid of some of the scientific jargon. You can still be sciencey, but you don't have to be like just drop a textbook out when you're talking. You can be sciencey in different ways. Like me hold my hand out and show my fingers go away and there goes the spikes on a snowflake. You're still giving a lot of science. You're just doing it in a way that's, easy to take in and understand.
That's it.
That's awesome.
That's it.
So, if you're up for it, we have got some rapid fire questions for you in a section that we like to call Rapid Chattin.
Oh yeah, Rapid Chattin.
Are you ready?
We should have our own theme music and like a bell or something.
We should.
Don't worry, we'll add that in.
We'll get it in there.
Okay.
All right. What's your favorite season?
Definitely fall.
Okay. Solid choice. I'd have to agree on that, actually.
It's the best.
I like winter, the holidays, the whole thing.
Snow's pretty good too.
Yeah, it's good.
100%.
All right, blizzard or heat wave?
Definitely blizzard.
Yeah, I agree.
Heat.
I agree.
Really?
Hate.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, never retiring in Florida. I'll take mountains, thank you.
Wow. So I'm alone on this one.
Yeah, me and Ava were talking about that earlier. She would go heat wave.
I would go heat wave.
Yeah.
Just because you like the song?
No,
Heat wave's turning you on?
It is a great song. It's a very catchy song.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yep.
But I think I'd rather be hot than cold.
Okay.
I'm the opposite. Anyway.
Have you ever tried frying an egg on some hot pavement in the summer?
Have not. I don't know if I buy that one, so I would not.
Okay.
I would sooner do the crayon one.
Okay.
Where you get crayons to melt. Or try making cookies.
Yes, I've seen that. The cookies in the car.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be good. That would be good. To bounce off of that, like, what's your favorite food?
Oh, definitely pizza.
Okay.
I could eat it every day, every meal, all the time.
Any specific place you go for?
Oh, yeah. Downtown Westchester. There's a place called New Haven Pizza.
Oh, yes.
And it's Greek-style pizza. And here's what that means. They have a blend of cheddar and mozzarella. The cheddar adds extra flavor, so the cheese is really good. Then the crust, because it is Greek-style, is light and flaky. It's a different style of crust. It's not like kind of that, denser sort of crust or meaty. It's light and flaky and airy. And I didn't know it was a style. I grew up going to this place called K&G Pizza just outside of downtown Westchester. The guys retired, and, it was a family business. The kids didn't want to take it over. And I'm like, I'll never have pizza like that again. And then my barber goes, oh, yeah, there's a place in downtown Westchester, New Haven Pizza. It tastes just like K&G. I'm like, what? Yeah, right. And then I found out it's a thing. It's Greek-style pizza. It's big up in New England.
I'll have to give it a try.
Yeah.
I've never had it.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, awesome.
I love that you've had it. Where'd you grow up?
In Westchester, actually.
Then you know all about it. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Let's get you down to Dub C.
Yes, absolutely.
There's check it out.
Lots of good spots in Westchester. Lots.
All right. I'm usually a media kind of gal, but
we love media.
Yeah.
Just got a new mayor, by the way.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There you go.
That's awesome.
All right. Final question. If you were stranded on a desert island, what celebrity would you bring with you to help?
Zac Efron. Have you seen how jacked that dude is?
Yes.
I'm making him climb up the coconut trees to bring stuff down, bring down the coconuts so I can drink. I'm having him do all the work. I'm going to sit back and let him just do everything.
Yeah, solid choice.
I saw him last night on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes, he did make his appearance last night
Zac
to support
Efron.
his brother.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Yeah, he was
That's
there.
right. Yeah, I forgot his bro was in that.
Yeah, first time all season Zac Efron has made an appearance, so pretty big.
Hope to see him next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finale, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So pretty ironic that you chose him,
yeah.
but good choice. Good choice.
For sure.
He'll get the
Drew,
job done.
Yeah.
That's all we have time for today. So we appreciate you coming on and chatting with us. And
This was
Thank you.
awesome.
I
Thank
love
you.
this. Why don't you come on my podcast at Fox 29? I do it weekend mornings at 10 a.m. Can we do this in a different place, in my studio? We'll just flip things around.
let's do it.
Absolutely.
Let's do
I'm here
it.
for it.
I'm all in.
Awesome.
right.
Let's
Thanks,
do it.
Drew.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in. We are done chatting for today. This podcast was recorded in the Penn State Brandywine Makerspace Media Production Studio. We Are Chattin' was made possible by Penn State Brandywine Strategic Communications and the Brandywine Launchbox. Remember to like this podcast and stream it on wherever you get your podcasts.